Hey, Lo-Ryders, it's me, Lois, and I know I've been gone for a minute. Part of the reason that I've been gone is because my family, my New York family, that now lives all over the East Coast, made a trip to the Pacific Northwest, to Oregon, to come and see us for Thanksgiving. And we have been celebrating and cooking and eating and talking crap about the things we did when we grew up and so forth and so on, and just having a blessed time. So that is why I've been missing from these YouTube streets. I missed each and every one of you, and I hope that you still want to hear me after being gone so long. But I just wanted to let you know that I am back. And this is my first video or short. I'm not sure if it's going to be a video or a short at this juncture. But I do want to let you know that part of my family's trip, there was a lot of undecisiveness because the person whose house we were supposed to have Thanksgiving at, I'm not speaking to them because they badmouthed me. This is my brother's ex-wife when he passed away 9 years ago. And she decided to talk about me up until probably the point of Thanksgiving. Well, I've been on my side of town because she lives in Portland and I live in Tigard, Oregon. So I'm way on the other side of town. So there's no chance of us running into each other or any of those things. So I've been over here minding my business. But we have mutual friends and mutual family because she has my brother's 2 children. And I've been hearing the gossip about me and the name calling and so forth and so on. So I decided I'm not going to feed into that nonsense. It's not worthy. I am too old to be playing around with somebody who just wants to gossip and create havoc in people's lives. So I decided to fall back and mind my business. She told me my niece and nephew hated me. They did not like me. So I decided, okay, cool. No, I don't have to buy nobody no Christmas presents. You know I'm okay with that. Okay, them your kids. Them ain't my kids. Okay, my kids scrub. Okay, so I didn't have to worry about buying no Christmas presents, buying no birthday presents, giving nobody money, cash apps, or none of that stuff for, gosh, the last 9 years, and I've been so happy. You know what I'm saying? But what happened was, because my daughter was the one hosting the party for Thanksgiving, the venue canceled on her or something of that nature. Something happened where we couldn't have Thanksgiving where we was initially supposed to have Thanksgiving. So it ended up that they was going to have it at my brother's ex-wife's house. Nobody knew about this till the night before. And I said, well, I'm not going. Okay, because, you know, I'm cooking greens, I'm cooking cabbage, and I'm making the mac and cheese. I'm not going. And my cousin Carrie said, well, I'm not going either. My cousin Lynette said, I'm not going. And then somebody else said, they not going. And I said, no, I want y'all to go. I said, this is not y'all fight. This is it's between me and the host or the hostess. And I don't want y'all to do that. Y'all came all these miles from the East Coast to the West Coast, East meets West, to have a Thanksgiving dinner. Y'all spent all this money for things to be done, and for y'all not to go to Thanksgiving because of me. I appreciate y'all standing by me, but no, don't do that. They would not. We not going. So then my nephew called me and he said, Auntie Lois. I said, yes, Gino. Why can't we have Thanksgiving in my house? And I listened to him tell me how my brother chose his mother as his wife, so forth and so on. And I said, you were absolutely right with everything you said. You are absolutely right. However, because I did listen to him first, so let's be clear. I listened to him and let him get everything he said off of his chest. I said, however, since your mom has been bad-mouthing me for the last 9 years and calling me a thief and saying I stole something out of my dead brother's home when I never went back to his home, although I had a key and I was the executor of his estate. I never went back to his home after he passed away. I was sitting in the house with them, her and her children, and me and my daughter were fixing them dinner. So for her to just blatantly lie on me and tell people these lies, that just hurt my heart and it really bothered me. So I explained to him why I didn't want to come. I said, but I'm not trying to prevent the family from coming. He said, but the family's divided because, you know, they're going to have your back and so forth and so on. And I said, I'm trying to get them to come. He said, well, Auntie Lois, I want you to come. And I thought about it no less than a second. I said, well, if you're asking me to come, I will come. And I did. I swallowed my pride and I said, I'm coming. And then I told my family why. I said, because my nephew had the grace to call me and explain to me how he was feeling based on the stuff that his mother had been telling him for 9 years about me. I said, did your mother tell you that you said you don't like me? He said, I didn't know that. And all the other things, he didn't know any of these things. He's just listening to his mom's side. You know what I'm saying? Auntie Lois never said nothing. You never heard anything from me. And the bottom line, if Auntie Lois says something, you could take that to the bank. I'm not going to speak on something I don't know about, and I'm not going to talk to you if I don't like you, if you say something about me, if you disrespect me. I'm not talking about you, and I'm not talking to you. I have no time for you because you have already shown me who you are and what you intend to be and how you intend to treat me. The very first time this woman met me, she called me ghetto. Okay, she called me ghetto. And the reason she called me ghetto is because I had an artificial Christmas tree up. And I had to tell her ass, look, I lived in the asphalt jungle. I am from New York City. We cannot just go outside and chop a motherfucking evergreen tree down in New York City, okay? And that was the gist of it. She didn't even know me, and she called me ghetto. And then she's like, well, I didn't mean that and all this. And it was a whole bunch of nonsense throughout my brother's relationship with this woman, her stalking him, her sitting outside my house when he didn't live with me and so forth and so on, in my parking space. And that really pissed me off. But it was a whole lot of bullshit. But I decided, after my nephew called me and said, well, would you come if I asked you to come? I absolutely would, Gino. And then I called my family and I said, look, I'm swallowing my pride. I'm coming to Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to be the bigger person because my nephew invited me to come. And then I was explaining everything to them over the phone. And my cousins were like, the older cousins, the older ones, the ones that's older than me, said that was very big of you. I said, well, I don't want my family divided because of me. I don't want that because we can get together and we can have a good time. We don't have to see each other all year, but on Thanksgiving, we're going to get together and we're going to have a blast. We're going to play spades. We're going to cuss each other out. We're going to dance. We're going to karaoke. We're going to do all these good things, okay? So I did not want to ruin that for my family. And that is what I'm thankful for, that my nephew had the foresight to pick up the phone and call his auntie to find out why I was feeling the way I was feeling and why I would not come to his home. I said, because I was not welcome. I was never welcome, and I just don't have time for the nonsense. And then he went back, I guess, to talk to his mom and everything, and she was very gracious when she came, when I came over, and I thanked her immediately when I walked in the door for inviting me to her home. Although it was her son who invited me, I thanked her for inviting me to her home. And then I did go outside and smoke a cigarette, and she came outside and she started talking to me. And then next time, about 3 hours later, I went out for a cigarette and she came out and talked to me. And I told her, I said, we need to talk. I said, we're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation. And I'm going to tell you all the reasons that I'm angry with you. And she's like, well, I'm angry too. What are you angry about? You're the one that started this. You don't start no SH, you won't be no IT. So I just said, I'm not going to deal with the bullshit because I'm too old for that. I'm happy. Me and my husband live happily on the other side of town with my son and my grandson. There's absolutely no reason for me to be angry. Excuse me, something's on my tongue, y'all. I had a walnut chocolate chip cookie by Tate's, honey. These are so bomb. Let me just tell y'all. These are so bomb. But anyway, Thanksgiving went off without a hitch. And then we spent the next week or so with my cousins in the Airbnb, because yes, we just stay in the Airbnb, and I was cooking every day. I thoroughly enjoy cooking for my family because I haven't cooked for them in eons. You know, I mean, like everyday meals. You know, we've done Thanksgiving and stuff like that, but barbecues. But I haven't cooked home cooked meals in eons for them. So we was just doing it up and having a good time watching shows I ain't never seen to it before. Shout out to Moses and all that other stuff, you know. So I just wanted to share with you guys why I have been missing in action, because my family was in town, and I'm so excited. And I was so excited. I'm still excited. But before I go, I do want to let you guys know, on a sad note, Michael's brother, my husband, my support, Mr. Vance, his brother Orlando Vance has passed away from cancer. And it was Saturday evening we got the news, the worst news ever, because this man stepped in. When my brother died 9 years ago, this man stepped in and kept me on the straight and narrow, because my brother would snatch me up in the collar. Even though he was younger than me, he was bigger than me. He was 6'9". He would snatch me up in the collar and say, sis, don't be doing that. Don't do that, sis. Because, I be ready to go. Because, the New York and me be ready to rock and roll. But I had to learn how to calm the fuck down as I got older. You know what I'm saying? And Orlando would just calmly, because he didn't yell and scream, just like my husband don't yell and scream. And he would just say, just trust God. Trust your husband. Trust the process. Trust the plan or whatever it is. And if I be too angsty, he'd be like, stop it. And I'd be like, yes, sir. And I would stop. And I'm going to miss him immensely. My husband was toe up from the flow up. And I'm upset because I didn't get to see him. We were supposed to spend Thanksgiving with my family, but his illness just took on a rapid progression, and it was just super scary because one week I'm talking to him and then the next week I can't talk to him, and I hadn't seen him in a minute. I'm talking since his diagnosis. I haven't seen him, and then everything happened so quickly. It's just like, this is the healthiest man in America beside my brother. He walks every day. They got a club called the Lo-Ryders. The older men get out in the track and they walk and so forth and so on. And then all of a sudden he's gone. He's listless. He's lifeless. He can't move. And I was just so hurt. I was cussing the doctors out and everything because it took them 3 years to get to the diagnosis. And I want to know what the flipping dip was y'all doing all that time. So, of course, everybody's in their feelings, but I did want to share with you guys that my husband did lose his brother, who was very close to him. He was 4 years older than Michael. And Orlando and their sister Teresa, because it's about 7 of them. But those two protected Michael because Michael was the baby. I couldn't say nothing bad to Michael, which I didn't anyway, because my husband's a good guy. He's quiet. He don't bother nobody. He just said, whatever you want, baby. But if I call Orlando, I say, I'm telling Orlando, I call Orlando. He's like, well, sis, you're going to need to calm down. And he always kept me in a calm space. And I so appreciated that. And I am going to miss that. And then his wife was just, I just love her to death with her little shorty stuff. She's my shorty doo-wop. That's what I call her, my shorty doo-wop. Orlando was like 6'3", 6'4", like Michael was. But I just don't even know how to explain to you how this has impacted me. I've been crying for the last several days. Today, only cried one time. So, but yeah, it's hurt. It's an impact. You would have thought that it was an actual family member, the way I'm acting. But to me, he was family because he's always welcomed me in his home. He had an open door policy. If me and Michael did have any type of financial problems or whatever, I could go to him and Ann and talk to them, and they counsel us and so on. And it was always pray first. Pray, pray, pray. And we've come through some strong, people or things trying to divide us or make us go against each other. But Orlando has been the glue that has held everything together, not just with Michael and I, but with the family and so forth and so on. And he is no longer here. And for that, I am truly saddened. And I just wanted to say, Lo-Ryders, I appreciate you listening to me. I know this is not what you want to hear from me, but I needed to share this with you guys because this is what I've been going through over the last week. And I told my son I was going to get back on YouTube today. I think I'm ready to get back on YouTube. My anxiety actually has been calm, so I was going through so much other stuff that I didn't have time for my anxiety to kick in. I've been taking my drugs and stuff that I need and whatnot, and doing what I needed to do, a little bit of exercise here and there. But I really, 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 truly appreciate my Lo-Ryders and my subscribers and my YouTube fan bam for sitting here and taking the time to listen to me speak to y'all about what progressed in my life over the last 2 weeks. And I will be back later on today to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville and that gosh darn Martell Holt. That's all I have to say for now, guys. Wakanda forever. I love each and every one of you. Mwah. Peace.